last time on Pulse Hunters Wednesdays, you all had traveled together to go hang out at the local tavern here in Claro, known as the Claren Canopy, where it was kind of a weird tavern because y'all were literally the loudest people there because it was like a very chill vibe sort of thing. And then y'all got to drinking. Sam, you weren't here, but just so you're aware, everybody had a taste of Cactuar Jack, and three of us basically died. And it was fun, especially Kayako, who said a lot of really embarrassing things while she was drunk, so much so that the party had to lesser restoration her before she made more inflammatory remarks about herself and others.
I don't remember that, but that sounds like something I'd do.
Yeah. Let's see. What else? After that, Glee kind of talked a bit more about himself, so you guys got to learn more about our little Fae friend here, and it was kind of discovered that time is a weird suit for him because he thought it's only been maybe like a couple years or so, but then it kind of became relevant that they didn't think all this technology that summoners were back. This is all brand new to him, and the last year he kind of really remembered was graduating from Estar Academy around the 1390s, which is pretty concerning. And I realized that he's been in the Feywild Feymarch much more longer than he knew and expected, and also realized that many of the people that they probably knew in the material plane are probably dead. So lots of existential crisis, and then more drinking. After that, y'all learned a bit more about each other. I think a lot of the party was just explaining everything you kind of been through to Glee. And then at some point, you all decided, and by you all, I mean Emerald and Glee decided it'd be cute to have a little bit of a sparring match, especially after you gave Glee a little bit of a tour of the Highwind. So, Kurgam, I don't know where you were, but we didn't include you because it would have made the numbers odd anyways. But the rest of the party basically took part in the Encephalon, where they were virtualized into this long, big meadow plain area where they were able to fight to their heart's content. And the teams were Tephra, Emerald, and Rune versus Glee, Kayako, and Einar. They had faced off against each other, and one by one, Team Emerald disintegrated Team Glee, unfortunately, through the use of summoning Fenrir in the simulation, along with some expert smitage from Tephra, who revealed to you all apparently is able to channel their magic into some form of divine power similar to paladins, considering the smite, which is brand new, as well as Rune's overall badassery. But they didn't go down without a fight, that's for sure. The other team dealt a lot of damage as well, but yeah, eventually Team Emerald won, and after that everybody kind of went off to vibe on their own. Tephra felt really bad because they literally DTR'd the relationship with Einar probably 30 minutes before this whole sparring thing even happened, and then faced off against Einar, and not only critted Einar, but decided to smite as well and dealt 300 damage. It's still a lot. Yeah, and also, but that's besides the point.
Is that more than Einar's max HP? Maybe.
Very close. I think. What was it?
It was 100 and something damage. If Einar was below half her own hit points, you would have killed Einar.
I wouldn't have done that.
Yes, you would have.
Virtually disintegrate mental feedback, something.
Other than that, after that happened, everyone kind of went their own separate ways. Emerald, feeling very jazzed from their success and strategic victory, went to go right to their patron. Rune went to go de-stress with Atropos, while Tephra over here decided that, hey, I probably shouldn't have done that, and went to go chop some fruits for Einar because they think that'll help. And I think that's what everyone else is doing. Meanwhile, the losing team are having their own self-thrown pity party in the little hot tub, bath, pool, sauna, healing water situation. Before I proceed with the recap any further, Kurgum, what would you think you would have done during that whole time when like the whole sparring thing happened? You kind of brought Glee back to like check out the high wind. But what do you think is the vibe that Kurgum would have done?
He might have just been lurking around, still looking for the more plants and whatnot, but also probably would have watched, like,
you could watch it on the screen because, like, there's a screen
he
down
also
there. Yeah.
At that point would have watched. He would not have just like, I'm gonna ignore this. He would have gone and probably internally laughed at people, but he wouldn't say as much.
Yeah, I would say, Kurgum, if you were watching from the screen one by one, whenever someone got down, you would see they would rematerialize in the material plane.
Anyone who was there, like outside of it for it, would see Kurgum face palming as Tephra crits. By the way,
yeah, crits.
By the way, Kayako got killed by like Rune doing a whole shit ton of damage.
Yeah, it was crazy. Rune did a lot of damage
Kurgum
as well,
would
and he like
cheer a little bit for that, and then like try.
Rune, I think Rune like hit 3 times and smited on each hit. It was pretty funny.
Yeah,
but yeah,
I think there was like a nat 20 in there at some point.
I think there was, but yeah, the odds are very stacked against you, and there's also a whole Eidolon. So you guys did really well, even though you guys weren't able to down anyone. But it was definitely a rude awakening, and at the end of the day, y'all got to see some really fun tricks from each other. With Glee's interesting magic sort of revealed a mixture of sorcery and witchcraft, ? Very interesting. And with that, y'all kind of went your separate ways, are vibing. But meanwhile, back to our pity party crew, everyone was just kind of like trying to lay around. And at some point, as you guys are just vibing, I believe Einar was still there when this occurred. Kayako seemed to be very wary of Glee for some reason, just because she felt like there was more to Glee than meets the eye. And her first instinct was to maybe suspect that he might have some affiliation with the Snakes, who are obviously the main adversaries of the party. However, despite this, Kayako decided to ask Glee straight up if he had anything to do with Ouroboros, word for word, said the word out loud. And when that had occurred, some things happened, such as Grace having to roll a D100, and let's just say all of a sudden, and Einar and Glee would have noticed this in the little pity pool, Kayako's eyes suddenly glazed over as she kind of like looked straight ahead, as though she wasn't really looking anywhere at all, but was also seemingly unconscious, but still sort of standing and sitting in the waters. And from what you guys had seen, it was like Kayako went still for a second and basically checked out. However, what Kayako saw was something completely different. She saw a room that was filled to the brim with this deep red, almost like stone-like material. And it was translucent, and it seemed to be radiating this like very eerie energy, as though each piece of the crystals were screaming and wailing pleas of anguish. And within the red crystal, she saw the shape of, from what she could recall, a shape of a woman encased in the red crystal, seemingly some sort of abomination mixed with some avian-like features, at the same time some draconic and infernal features with shock white hair that seemed to spike into horns. And she seemed to be asleep when Kayako had first observed her. But suddenly, when Kayako's presence was seemingly made known, the woman's eyes opened, and she gave Kayako a bit of a smirk before Kayako reawakened in her own body for the time being. And that's basically where we left session last time. So with that in mind, back to the pity pool with the three of you. Immediate reactions as the two of you, Glee and Einar, you see as Kayako's eyes return in color as she seems to be clearly shaken and disturbed by something.
Are you alright? You got very stiff there for a moment.
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine. Hey, quick question. Have you ever had warmth leave your entire body and feeling nothing but the cold emptiness inside of yourself?
Like you'd never be happy again?
I was more talking about a literal.
Oh.
Not literally.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Are your eyes alright? Yeah, they kind of glossed over. Did you see anything?
I saw some bird woman in a crystal who gave me a smirk. I don't think she was good. I don't think any of this was good. I think this was a punishment for earlier, what I said earlier. I think I fucked up.
How about we get out of the hot tub and maybe go talk about this with the others?
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. Maybe.
Okay, let's
Right, yeah.
go. Yeah.
Let's go get the others. Is this because you said
Please don't.
No, it probably is. Yes, it probably is. It's
right?
Cool. So we're going to go find the others and not talk about anything serpentine in nature until we get there.
Okay.
We can speak purely in innuendos.
Sure. Let's go.
And fly the snake.
Mm-hmm.
We'll go around looking for people, I suppose.
Yeah, you guys exit the tub and essentially went to go dry yourselves off and I guess gather people. I would say feel free to describe yourselves as you try and gather everyone one by one from their rooms, or we can go ahead and skip forward into.
How long does it take you to find Tefra in the kitchen?
Yeah.
A place she's never been to before.
A hot minute.
Yeah, it takes a hot second. Yeah, if anyone would like to describe.
Did the warmth return to Kayako's body, or is she still feeling very cold?
Just roll me a d20.
I should not have asked that. That's a 5.
You feel like there's this constant chill at the back of your spine.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But yes, unless there's anything you would like to play out in searching each other, is everyone cool with me moving you all to the meeting room?
Mm-hmm.
I go around singing because that's normal for me. And I'm like, hey guys, we got some serious bullshit to do now and talk, or something like that.
Tephra shows up with at least 3 band-aids on. Knows how to use a sword, does not know how to use a knife. And a smoothie for Einar, because I think at some point Tephra gives up on after mangling too many different fruits, and shoves them in a fantasy blender and calls it a day.
There's no fantasy blender. There is a blender. It's a kitchen appliance.
Fantasy blender.
No, it's a fantasy blender.
It's a fantasy. It's crystal powered.
Crystal powered.
Fantasy blender.
But yeah. All right. You guys all gather here in this room together, the Crystal Guardians. A bit perplexed. It wasn't too long since, maybe I want to say maybe an hour or two since your little bout against each other. But you all see that Kayako looks clearly shaken and almost as though literally that she's seen a ghost, because she looks a lot paler, and she's quite darker skinned, so it looks very obvious how pale she appears.
So what happened while we were gone for
Okay, so
30 minutes?
Okay, so technically it started before that. I want you guys to not kill me for this. Or do if you feel like you need to. Honestly, I would get it.
Kayako.
I may have said the name of the snakes, but I didn't call them the snakes.
That is very unfortunate, but I completely understand. It could happen to anybody.
Absolutely wouldn't happen to Ron. Ron's never done that ever. It's not a good thing, but we're not going to kill you about it.
No,
Okay, good.
already done that today. Once.
Okay.
What's the issue?
We're not going to kill you about it twice.
Okay. So after the sparring, I said it to Glee because of some bullshit that, if they want to talk about it, great. If not, I don't care.
Kayako just wanted to make sure you all
What
were.
happened? Are they on
taken care
their
of.
way? Do we have
I don't know, but I saw a vision, and there was this lady in ice, and she was kind of hot, but also very evil. Hair and horns or something. Avian part, white hair.
Avian?
Do you think that was your mother?
No, I don't think so. She looked very evil. She gave me she woke up and she was asleep, and then she woke up and gave me a smirk of some kind, and I felt. Have you ever felt heat has left your body absolutely cold? Not metaphorically, literally.
Yeah,
I think I got trapped in the ice at least once.
It's winter, for instance.
Yes. Okay, so you saw. So does that description, a lady in ice with white hair and horns, (avian? Is that something you said?
Did you say ice, Kayako?
If I did, I said it. It was crystal. It was crystal.
Oh, I thought you said ice. Okay. Lady in crystal with white hair and horns. Can I get confirmation on the avian bit?
Yeah, avian would be
Bird lady.
Something. Yeah.
Okay.
Avian with
Does that-
draconic and infernal features encased in red crystal.
Yeah.
Does it sound like any kind of deity or eidolon that Roan would recognize?
Oh, interesting. Rowan, go ahead and make me a religion check at advantage.
Could I also religion check?
How many of us would be allowed to make a check on this?
I allow anybody. I don't really limit anybody.
Okay.
If you feel like your character would try and think and have like a That's the Raven Jimmy Neutron moment, please by all means make a check. Which check are you trying to do, Glee?
Would Arcana make any sense here?
What are you trying to arcanize with your knowledge of magic?
Trying to see if this creature is made or exhibits any magic that I'm aware of, like maybe reading like an Origins of Magic book or something like that.
Okay, yeah, I'll allow that. So Arcana.
Can I make a history check at disadvantage?
Sure.
I
And
suppose
what kind of check? Yeah, go
animal
ahead.
handling
Gordon.
would make sense.
Unfortunately, not for this. But is there any other check you'd like to try and make, Kuroga? I would
Still
say
toss, like a religion out there, maybe.
Religion. You could also potentially try and do like a nature check if you want to try and get like a vibe of what Kayako was talking about in terms of the material.
Roll a vibe check.
Yeah.
If you want to do a nature check instead.
Oh.
And Tefra, what would you like to roll? Or insight?
Oh, I rolled a religion check also.
Okay, cool, awesome. Let me go ahead. Emerald, any thoughts or head empty?
No thoughts, head empty.
Emerald is just too busy basking in their victory, and I don't think even realizes the severity of the situation. Maybe.
Oh, okay, yeah, you had another fucked up dream. That's
like, okay, we just had a fucked up dream together this morning, y'all. Like, it's fine. It's normal.
Becoming a bit of a pattern.
Also, while we're sitting here, one of the first things that I think Tefra would have done would be wait, I have this feature, right? You get this at level 1, the Divine Sense.
Yes, Divine Sense. 1? I don't think Paladins do, actually. Let me check.
Wait, it says it's under my active abilities. I would like to use Divine Sense.
Yeah, sure. Divine Sense, then.
Ooh, wait, I have a question. So I've never done it before. Can I use the Fate Competence? Because I've never gotten to use it yet.
Yes. Deception check at disadvantage. What are you trying to competent at?
I'm trying to act like I totally know what this is. I've totally heard about this before.
Okay. So yeah,
fake competence.
It's a perk. Yeah, go ahead and disadvantage deception check. Amazing. I know. That's fucking bonkers. Okay. Cool.
Hot.
With
my
that,
girlfriend is hot.
Interesting. Okay, going around here. We'll start with Glee and Kayako. Glee, from the sound of this sort of magic, I want to say you're not too familiar with. It definitely seems a bit beyond you. You're unable to really place where it's from. It doesn't sound fey or anything in nature. It might be a bit from some other plane of existence, but you're not too sure of a creature of sorts. The description's not really enough. It could be, and many things appear avian and are actually celestial. Many things appear draconic, but are in fact a sort of abyssal creatures. So it's kind of difficult to parse. Kayako, with your 15 history check at disadvantage, I would actually say that you've heard stories about like fucked up, sort of like creepypasta, horrific creatures and entities that are often kept either encased in some sort of stasis through some form of higher magic before, but you're unable to really come up with anything specific. And Craig died just as I was about to get to him.
No.
So I guess we'll hold off.
So,
yeah, go ahead.
Are you saying that Kayako read the fantasy equivalent of the creepypasta wiki religiously?
Yes, basically.
That makes sense for her, honestly.
That sounds like Kayako.
Instead of like, and there probably is, because there is like web browsing to a degree in this world, like database and whatnot with fractal magic. So yeah, probably some students at like Prismari wrote some creepypasta and gave it to some Quandrix students to publish online or something. But yeah, with that, Craig, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Cool. I was just about to get to you, and then you died. Okay, perfect. So for our religion, what did you get, Tefra? Oh, 25. Okay, perfect. I think with considering these, I'll start with you two with the religion, actually. As you guys try and parse whether this is some form of eidolon, you get this sense that it almost sounds like it, because like from Kayako's description, it almost sounds like, you know, by definition, it sounds similar to your experience when you met Shiva, the Magicite, for example, that Shiva was encased in the Glaciers Cavern. It was very similar. And then even when you had met Leviathan in the temple, the water temple of Alexandria, it sounds very similar, but the sort of description, especially with your high checks, it doesn't appear to match any Eidolons you've ever heard of. And at the same time, you're unsure if, like, excuse me, you're unsure if any Eidolons you've sort of are currently aware of sort of have those similar characteristics. You've heard stories of like certain Eidolons who have gone malicious and sort of fell from grace, such as the Warring Triad, the three Eidolons originally of darkness, but sort of waged war with the rest of the Eidolons, that you two would know with your high checks, as Necron, Saruin, and Shirak. And other than that, though, you understand that this appears to be a woman and could potentially match the description of Shirak, the Lady of Sorrow. But at the same time, Avian and Draconic, it doesn't seem to match up. So it's kind of, you know, Evil Lady Eidolon in the histories, but this doesn't appear to be that Evil Lady Eidolon, if it is. But it definitely almost sounds like one, but not at the same time. It's confusing. Anything follow up before I move on to the other checks?
Does it sound like it might be somebody trying to impersonate Shirak or embody Shirak? Like, if not Shirak herself?
You're a bit unsure. Shirak wasn't really known for bestial or like creature-like mannerisms. She was known for, like, the thing you would know with your high checks would be that she's characterized by her hair, and her hair being essentially like almost like a spider's web and very arachnid-like. But this doesn't appear to be like that.
Oh,
So,
I remember.
Yeah. So, sorry. Go ahead, Craig.
No, I just said interesting.
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead, Tefra.
And then had the Divine Sense pinged anything?
Yes, so like I'll go ahead and do that for you. Let me see. Can you go ahead and put that into the chat for me?
Just Divine Sense in general? Okay.
Yeah. You can just click on it and click on the little picture next to it and it'll show
Yeah.
Yeah. Just so I can read it.
I did. Is it not going?
Yes, go ahead, Craig.
I think it's 60 feet identifies
I see
any
it.
being undead or Fae.
Yeah. So in this sense, you would notice that Glee, of course, lights up full Fae, kind of like a little Fae glow stick right now. You would, however, find something very interesting. You notice that Kayako lights up. And at first you assume, okay, well, maybe it's because of her icon status. You know, you can kind of get that sense. And she does light up of that sense. But at the same time, you find that she appears to be lit up in an aura of desecration. Anyways, moving on. Next check. With that ball drop. Kurgan. Are you there, Sam?
I am indeed.
You're trying to think about all of this. This is kind of wild. And you're kind of trying to draw from your knowledge of nature and the materials you've sort of seen in your travels before meeting your friends here. The crystal that Kayako seemed to be describing. You've actually remembered spending some time, because I do remember actually, Sam, correct me if I'm wrong, but Kirkham spent a lot of time reading about things in the library in Lindblum and even here, I think, something like that, doing some research.
Yes.
We can say you gather some data and gathered some information from there to kind of get a wider berth of knowledge of nature as a whole. And you've heard of a material that is said to kind of possess a lot of natural magical power, often used as foci or components for spells. and you begin to realize that trying to come up with a word for it, but you remembered it used to cause a bit of like, lots of drama and trouble in neighboring lands across the seas. And it's said to be a material to cause insanity if exposed to it for too long. And you recognize it to be known as nethicite.
Oh, I know this.
And nethicite is often used as ways to augment weapons, armor, even to act as like I said, magical foci, and especially used to cast forbidden magics. Some forbidden spells that are said to be higher than the 9th circle, so like spells of godlike creation, must require the use of nethicite and usually blood-related sacrifices.
Oh.
Yeah, it's not cute. And Einar, you're kind of like, because of your fake competence, you're kind of like talking shit, but then you're kind of like actually talked so much shit in a loop that it's a false positive that you actually end up in the same conclusion as everybody here.
I'm so smart.
But yeah, anyways, have fun with that. You're muted, by the way, Tephra, if you want to say something.
Okay. So, looking at Kayako, Tephra just sort of like gives Kayako an look.
No, what is it?
Oh, no, nothing. You just got,
No.
This is fine.
Tell me.
Hold on. Let me just, can I try to cast Dispel Magic?
Do you have that currently prepared?
I do.
Okay.
I even have 2/3 level spell slots left.
That's hot. Oh, I mean, you shouldn't have used any spell slots unless you casted spells outside of the simulation. So.
Oh, it doesn't count in the simulation?
Yeah, yeah. Simulation was fake. Hold on one moment. Let me check.
And I have all my spell slots.
Well, let me check something real quick.
Let's try to battle our next boss in the simulation. We can just never run out of spell slots.
Okay.
Spell slots.
Interesting.
I don't know if it's possible to dispel this.
I know. I'm reading what the effect that is currently holding Kayako right now. It's not exactly like by the book desecration, but it's something different. But I allowed it just because I think it's cool for you to be able to detect it, and I think it's dramatic. As you summon the spell to cast Dispel Magic, you feel this dark aura surrounding Kayako. I'm gonna need you to do two things for me, Tephra. I need you to roll me just a gay intelligence check as a spellcasting ability check. First.
With proficiency, or am I just doing the +5?
It's just a +5. This is just a spellcasting check.
Okay, 19.
19. Okay, that's good. With a 19, that's exactly what you needed. You would see as Kayako, this sort of aura around her begins to become visible to the rest of you, as you would see this almost spectral hand is resting on Kayako's shoulder, shrouded in this red mist. And the moment you cast your spell, it almost hisses, and Kayako, you look down to your left and you see it right there on your shoulder like a spider. And you, before you could even jump or say anything, it hisses and almost screams in despair as this red mist energy lashes out directly towards Tephra. Tephra, I need you to make me an intelligence saving throw at advantage because you succeeded.
At advantage? Okay.
I don't think you can feel this because you're really good at those.
Okay.
You do have Rune's aura because Rune's
I was going to say, I'm like, how close he is, Tephra.
Yeah. I mean, y'all are sitting next to each other, basically.
Okay,
so.
cool.
Okay. So, wait.
I'm pretty sure
Rune's aura is +4, right?
I believe it's +4, yes. +4.
Okay, so then that's 30.
Yeah, amazing. So Tephra, you only suffer.
I suffer.
It's halved as well.
Oh, that's right. Actually, it's not a spell.
Okay.
Good call though. Good call though.
It's fine. It's fine.
Jump on that as quickly as I
Oh
can.
wait a minute.
You should capitalize as much as possible.
Yeah, I know, right?
All right. You are lucky that you saved from this bitch. That's all I'm saying. Let me go ahead and do some math. Okay, so that is
If I had failed initially, would it be at disadvantage, or would it just not have done anything?
disadvantage,
Yikes!
and you wouldn't have been able to break it.
The first roll I had was a 2.
Yikes!
So I don't think it would have gone well.
So that is 48 points of necrotic damage, Tephra.
From Roan. From Roan.
Yeah, from
Ow.
As you
I
see,
think absorb
Tephra's-
elements should absorb necrotic.
You see as Tephra's nose begins to bleed as this red mist lashes out at her, and the arm kind of withers away from Kayako's shoulder. I'll go ahead and take that damage from you.
Can I magic vision look around to see what's going on? If it's still there, if the presence is still there?
Investigation check. Did you grab a tissue for yourself for Tephra? Or it's like when I described your nose bleeding, you're like, actually, I need to blow my nose.
Can I have advantage?
For this one, it would have been disadvantage, so it's just a gay roll.
Oh, fair enough.
What does gay magic look like?
What does it look like? What are the
I
What
guess-
gay
does
spells?
straight magic look like?
It doesn't exist.
My thoughts
Anyways,
exactly.
you would see as the hand disappears from your shoulder, and is almost, it's not really destroyed, Kayako, but almost as though it's being sent back somewhere, and it's almost as though it's being like sucked away out the window and disintegrating completely from what you could track it. And at this point, Tephra is like not only just bleeding from her nose, but also bleeding from her eyes and her ears.
Yo, what the fuck was that?
I
Trevor
don't.
just sort of falls backwards.
Oh god.
Can I
Oh, I don't.
try healing her?
Kirigum will cast Cure Wounds on Tephra.
Yeah.
Wait, guys, you weren't here for this. Cast your spell through me. It might.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Caster Glee. He's sort of a spell casting foci.
No, it's fine. I'm
What?
good. Tephra says, wiping.
Don't
Blood.
look. Are you fine?
She
No, we're good.
is going to put. Oh wait, Glee is already between Kurgum and Emerald. She's gonna like walk over and have them hold each other's hands and be like, "Okay, now do the spell."
I mean, I was just gonna put my hand on his shoulder, but we can do it like a little team thing too. Yeah, cure
Kirigum's
wounds.
confused, but will follow direction.
White battle mage.
All right. With that, I'm going to need Glee to roll me a D100.
Of course.
Oh
Mm.
god.
Frightening.
That's 25.
25. Okay. With a 25, it appears that the mist that Glee naturally appears to emanate does not exhibit, almost as though it's being blocked by something. And with that, Kurgum, no need to roll for your healing.
Oh boy.
But as you attempt to heal Tephra, you notice that the wounds are not being repaired.
That is concerning.
Okay, I must screw it up.
No, I think
Does
it's
mine
probably
go through?
something outside of our control.
Sorry, what was that, Bowen? What were we
I
going to say?
said-
Bowen?
Does mine go through?
It doesn't. And you don't think it appears to have anything to do with Glee. It almost appears as though healing magic or healing specifically Tephra right now appears to be superseded by something.
Can I magic vision to see?
You don't appear to catch anything. Go ahead,
Dang. All right.
So can I try like the thing I did with the sand snake, try to like cast detect thoughts just to see if I get any pings that are not supposed to be here.
Yeah, so just trying to get a general vibe check. Yeah, go ahead.
I want to make sure there isn't like weird thingies here.
No, don't worry about it. Let me just go ahead and check your spell save DC. 18.
When she's done, I'd like to try something as well.
There's you just get a really loud ringing noise from Tephra. No thoughts, just like
It's like an AOL dial-up tone.
Bowen, what were you saying, hon?
Whenever that's like when that gets resolved, I want to try something.
Excuse me.
Thank you.
As you're just doing a very general detect thoughts, not really trying to detect a specific individual's thoughts, but more just trying to act as a human metal detector. It doesn't appear that you catch anything, at least from your purview. You don't sense anything either. You feel generally okay at this point. But, Einar, just for shits and gigs, can you please roll me a wisdom ability check?
No. Sorry, I'm laughing at the GIF Sam sent. That is no business being as funny as it is.
E. It's in the E.
Can I?
Yes.
So just a check or save?
Just a check.
Okay.
And what's that, Glee?
I was gonna say, can I check for signs for curses, any glyphs or anything like that?
Yes. Go ahead and make me a charisma check.
Oh.
Just a gay charisma check.
Brilliant.
So I know you mentioned the save. I don't think they do that unless I'm like going in deep.
Oh, okay. Then yeah. And yeah, I mean, you don't catch anything anyways. I was just checking something. But with your wisdom ability check with a 17, Einar, you get the sense that something was here that you would have been able to detect, but it's no longer here and potentially banished by Tephra.
That's cool, it's fine.
And Glee, no odd sort of like sigils or anything like that, but you do realize now that you're all here gathered together that there seem to have been really, really dark magics that were used on Kayako that Tephra was just barely able to break at the cost of some of her vitality. I will also give you, with your 16 and your knowledge of witchcraft, that whatever Tephra is suffering right now, it doesn't appear to be permanent.
Is this a curse?
It does appear to be similar to a curse, yes.
I'm gonna try something. I'm going to just kind of close my eyes and think back to my lessons with Papa Loslin and the many books that we read in silence together, and I'm gonna start to draw some glyphs around Tephra, just in the air, leaving a faint green and purple trace, and I'm gonna cast a remove curse just to see if it works.
Great. With that, Glee.
Please, like, you don't need to worry about me. It's all fine.
Go ahead and roll me another charisma check, but this time at advantage.
Ooh.
So yeah, just a +5.
Okay. That's 15.
15, perfect. With that, you all see as as the blood is slowly kind of like dripping from Tephra's orifices, it kind of stops the moment you finish your glyphs and then begins to recede back.
Boy, good to have you around.
I can't believe that.
It is really unsettling having blood climb back up into your eye sockets. Oh,
you're still hurt, but I would say that Glee, assuming you still are having your sense, and it feels as though the healing magic should work on Tephra.
If you want to heal now, it should work.
Yes, I think that would be best, and I do a quick cure wounds.
slap Tefra's ass. I'm kidding.
I was gonna do it through Glee.
Oh yeah, through Glee.
Slaps Glee's ass.
Slaps Glee's ass. Okay, with that,
sorry.
Emerald. With your Cure Wounds, at whichever level you cast it, you can go ahead and consider it a level higher. So it's another D8 basically.
I was just using White Battle Mage again, so.
Oh, okay. So 2d8 now. 2d8 plus 5. Because it would have been 1d8 with White Battle Mage.
Yes.
And a Karaigam you can also cast if you'd like to as well, through Glee.
Go. I can find the right thing.
And if you cast it through Glee, you'd also experience a similar effect. It would be considered a level higher.
$16.
16. Nice. I'll apply that healing. Look at your heals. Apply healing. Apply healing. Alright, perfect. So Tefra, you're back to 121 as you feel the unsettling sensation of the blood curdling back inside of you, and then your internal wounds in your body kind of like closing. You definitely feel that the blood was sort of stemming from some sort of internal strain in your brain. Like it was a psychic attack almost.
Tefra's just sort of rubbing her head like, oh god, thank you. Yeah, let's not do that again. I very nearly did not succeed with that.
I know, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Learning moments. Right? This is a learning moment. We have learned not to do that again.
Okay.
So, do you think we could maybe send a message to that person and see what the fuck that was?
I do not think that's a good idea.
It does seem ill-advised.
Especially because any sort of connection to them magically, no, I think they could reach back.
I mean, they can clearly reach here without us reaching out at all.
Right.
Well,
but if we give them...
I think it's because I did reach out accidentally.
What I'm saying is, if we reach out purposefully, they might have a stronger hold on us again. I do not think it is advisable.
This makes sense.
Yeah,
Speaking of,
describe a sort of red crystal, correct?
What? Everyone's speaking all at once.
We'll start with Glee first.
Can someone explain to me what could be getting a hold of us, and am I included since I'm a new member?
You can always walk away.
Have you heard of the snakes and their influence?
Well, I have no thanks. Well, I think I heard a little bit about it. They were like underground, I think. Way back when.
I would say you remember them causing a lot of havoc back in your heyday at Estar Academy. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Vaguely, they caused a lot of problems.
They're continuing to cause problems and ramp up their efforts to cause problems, including attacks on the major crystals, like the water crystal in Alexandria. We are here to prevent them from getting to the air crystal. They have caused problems in Burmecia, all across everywhere. We think they have some business in not Hinakoku.
Ananta.
Ananta, basically they're everywhere. They are our main adversary. I have theories about what they want. We don't know for sure. We have defeated some of them. Surely there are more. And we know of some of the names, etc. They're very powerful. And, like, super evil also.
Yeah.
If that wasn't clear.
Oh, yeah. And with that, Kuragum.
Kuragum just wants to relay what he knows about Nethicite, particularly in the context of we have this very powerful curse-like magic that is presenting a threat, and perhaps the dark bargain sort of cursed magic crystal stuff is connected in some way.
What does Tephra know about the origins of Nethicite?
You can go ahead, Tephra, and roll me a history check at advantage, you nerd. And I only say at advantage because your family kind of deals with magical materials.
Okay, it's not a natural 20, but it's close.
Natural 18.
Yeah. Which is a history check, just a plus 10, 29.
29, almost a 30.
I say just a plus 10.
Just a plus 10, no big deal.
It's just a plus 10.
I'm with fucking 29. I would say you'd understand that Nethicite originally was mined in underwater tunnels where it seemed to grow almost organically in undersea tunnels that were said to have led to the underworld or portals into the hells or into the abyssal planes. You would know that it wasn't really widespreadly used that much until the beginning of the age, when a sort of splinter group of an organization that was long thought to have been perished, known as the Sea Princes, had utilized it to cause some trouble in the coastal city of Costa del Sol in Relámpago. And since then, Nethicite has been essentially tried to have been wiped out due to its sort of evil nature. There are some texts in the history of Minfilia that have suggested Nethicite's use in wars, such as its potential key use during the succession wars of the Thanalan city of Ul'dah and the long-lost city of Sildi. Usually Nethicite is used to empower very horrific spells of the necrotic and psychic nature, such as causing nightmares, necrosis, and raising the dead. And you'd also understand that its use, it's said that the materials used in Nethicite could potentially have been part of the components to create the necromantic powder that you're familiar with now, known as the Trader's Spurn. Tippity tappity. Yes, Kayako.
Can Kayako, do a check of herself, how she's feeling, if she feels still any connection to that?
Go ahead and roll me.
Darkness.
Go ahead and roll me insight check on yourself.
Yeah, okay.
I told you guys, chill session today.
Super chill.
Can I flash a genius myself?
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure you can. Let me check. It just costs you a reaction. You're really using that a lot, and I love that for you.
Yeah?
Good feature.
Yep, when you or another creature, period. So yeah.
Yeah.
So that makes it a 21. Very nice.
Yep.
With a 21, I would say that you feel still unsettled, but that warmth that you were kind of missing has fully returned at this point. and you were unsure how long it would have taken for it to have come back, if at all, if Tephra hadn't done what she'd done. And you're unsure of how long the hold on you would have been. You feel a bit disturbed, not really like you're currently under the influence of someone else, but more just that you feel a little too seen. And you're also aware of your heritage as well. And you can't help but to wonder, but to feel a bit of worry of that becoming knowledge. But you feel technically fine, for all intents and purposes.
Technically. Physically, yes.
But yes. Anybody else? Anything as you guys are sort of discussing all this together at once? If not, Atropos will speak up and will say, I do think that ultimately we have done all that we can, thanks to Tephra's excellent and fluent use of magic. And fortunately, with Gleandar, or Glee, we were able to dispel any curses that might have jumped from Kayako to Tephra. At this point, my sensors do not locate any nearby threats, and my apologies for not being able to locate it earlier. It is a bit out of my functioning to assist with such magics.
You're fine. It was my fault. I'll try to be more careful next time.
Hey, at the very least, I'm a little bit more informed. So, I know that those people are still around. Something good came out of it.
Kayako, the last time this happened, you were not here for it. There was a giant blood thing that spawned and started taking possession of all of our minds. It swallowed me at one point.
Tephra gets swallowed quite frequently, actually.
I don't know why it keeps happening. I should keep a running tally of how many times Tephra has been swallowed.
Tephra?
What?
What was that, Kayako?
Kayako, tilts her head to Tephra and is like, this might be a very, awful question to ask.
What, do I taste good?
That's not the question I was going... Do you like being swallowed?
No!
Fair enough!
Do you?
I think we should move on.
Okay, ignoring that.
Ignoring
all I'm
that?
saying is that it could have been worse. A worse scenario is a scenario in which I get swallowed by a goop. And that did not happen, and so therefore it's an improvement on last time.
Yeah, and we were able to deal with it, luckily, because you're awesome and cool.
And pretty lucky.
Yeah.
But hey, I made a promise to, protect you all and stick with you all until the end, so I'm doing nothing if not fulfilling that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And my promise gives me cool new tricks. And then Tephra's just does something with radiant stuff. It's like, ooh, haha.
Yeah.
New magics.
Does this magic feel antagonistic at all?
Tephra's magic?
Just my magic. Do they feel like clashy or do they feel fine?
Oh, they feel fine.
Okay.
I'm just gonna thank you. I'm gonna make us food. I'm just gonna make us food. And she's just like heads up, clearly still shaking, clearly totally not fine.
Tephra gets up and gives Kayako a hug.
Thanks.
Hey, are you a hugger?
You're fine, kiddo. Don't blame yourself too much. Me? A hugger? No.
Okay. Thanks.
You're fine, Kayako. It's okay.
Would you like any help cooking, Kayako?
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, sure.
Alright. I will join you.
All right. In the midst of all that, as you all kind of wind down from this, what do the rest of you do? Yes, Rune?
I was just coughing. I'm not sure. Rune will probably head back to his room and
room.
start tinkering with things.
Okay.
With Atropos.
Atropos is actually going to go to the Encephalon.
I'm not entirely a machine, Atropos. I cannot do it every. Needs some refractory periods.
That's what the prosthetic's for. But yeah, she actually heads down to the Encephalon, the bottom deck of the ship.
Shut the fuck up, Sam. I'm gonna come over there and punch you personally.
Something you would literally say. I don't know why you want to punch him.
Because I said
he thought of it first.
All right, so that leaves Einar, Tephra, Glee, and Kurgan. What are the four of you doing?
Tephra, what happened to your hands? They were like that when you came in.
Oh, I was trying to cut some fruit to say sorry for going a little too hard in the simulation. I went overboard. I'm sorry. I do not know how to use a knife, I think. I thought that would be easy because it's just like a small sword.
I mean, yeah. You're fine. You don't have to be sorry. I just wanted to make you feel a little bit bad just for fun. It's fine.
I still feel a little bit bad.
Well, then it's worked.
And then Tephra just sort of like is exhausted and just like leans on Einar and is like, I'm tired.
Do you need someone to carry you back to your room?
Oh, I don't know if I can walk.
Oh, you poor thing.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, I guess I'm carrying Tephra back.
The room is right there, so.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, because it's not a long walk. Why is Einar the one carrying people around? This is dumb. I know she's
strength of all of us.
Einar is pretty buff, actually. She's 14.
Oh.
See, she got buff from, like, fucking Fireman carrying bitches around all the time.
She's above average.
Chaos
Remember when we had, like, the workout group?
Who is the least strong out of all of us?
Sorry, Glee and Emerald. Emerald's at 10 and Glee's at 11.
Oh, okay.
I have a normal amount of strength. I don't know what you freaks are doing.
Yeah, Emerald's as good as Emerald's like average, so is Glee. Yeah. It's kind of funny though because Glee's really small and Emerald's really tall, but both of them have the same strength.
Let's arm wrestle.
Glee carry Emerald?
in terms of strength-wise, I think Kurgum's actually the buffest in the party. Kurgum is 16.
Team Turtle.
Yeah.
I love it.
Kurgum's the buffest. Yeah. But okay, speaking of Kurgum, where exactly are you going?
100 feet away.
Yeah, he just needed to get out. That was the high wisdom. Told him that he needed to leave, and then I think he's going back towards the library. Because apparently that has been helpful in terms of expanding his knowledge base, and he wants to know more, I guess, about the historical applications of Nethicite, if he can find anything on that. His pet theory is that the scary curse that they're dealing with is probably being caused by someone using this to enhance their magic.
Cool. All right. Meanwhile, Glee, everyone's kind of broken away. And is there anywhere in particular you'd like to go?
I'm just gonna pat my book, and I'm gonna go walk in the direction following the girlfriends, because my room is right next to theirs. I will have a grimace on my face as I realize I might have made a poor decision. And I might get to my room, and depending on if I can hear mutterings or not, I will take my bed and maybe move it elsewhere.
Actually, it's happened before, kind of. At least with Tephra, specifically.
Yeah. Tephra and Einar hearing things that Einar did not want to hear.
What do we roll for this? Anything? Tephra just made the noises.
What time of day is it, out of curiosity?
Right now we're getting more towards early evening. So, or actually, no, it's actually evening, since you guys went to drink as well. So I would say it's sort of like late evening, maybe like 9-10 p.m.
Okay. I'm just gonna try to pull my bed, which is hopefully not too heavy, and I'm just gonna try to move it like up the stairs onto the deck so that I can just kind of like look at the sky as I fall asleep.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I feel like Emerald's gonna like on their patrol just come across and be like
All right.
None of my business.
Just like a second look, like, no, whatever.
With that, what do the rest of you do? Is there anything specific y'all would like to do for the evening? Interact with each other, speak with one another about something before the night ends? Go ahead. It's okay.
If Bo is cool with it, Kayako would like to interact with Emerald as they're like doing. Yeah.
Bo said "fuck you," and that's not gonna happen. I'm kidding.
Okay, fine.
No interaction.
I totally didn't have my character literally follow you alone to a room so that I could like have an interaction with you or whatever.
Not like Bo purposefully asked. Not like Bo specifically said, "Hey, how about I join?"
You're right.
Bo roleplay? That's weird. I've never seen.
Yeah, I don't know. I like D&D for the combat mechanics.
Honestly, who enjoys role playing? That's kind of lame.
That's kind of cringe.
Okay.
Role playing in my D&D game?
Role playing in my RPGs.
Things.
Okay.
It's funny because y'all literally sound like these incels that get so upset when there's RPG mechanics in an RPG. Anyways, Emerald and Kayako, what are the two of you doing as you're sort of just cooking and vibing, and then eventually talk?
Kayako's just like cutting some vegetables, and she just sighs and is like, "How the fuck do you do this?"
Quite frankly, I think a lot of it boils down to the fact that I am a massive narcissist. that does help a lot, I will admit. Otherwise, you just kind of go through everything assuming you're going to live, and if you don't, well, it's not your problem anymore.
Okay, but listen, alright? The start of the week was a zombie apocalypse. And so much shit has happened since?
Yeah, I mean, you've read, historical tales of great heroes saving the world, yes?
No, I know. I've read the stories. I've seen I've heard the tales. When you're going through it,
yeah.
When you're going through it, it's a lot different, you know? It's like there's like a bunch of shit that just weighs down on you. Like, we did a whole bunch of shit in a week. Is this how it normally goes with people?
No, it is not. We are extraordinary individuals at the center of quite a lot of shit. This is not normal in the slightest. But I will also point out that you are not an ordinary individual yourself.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know. It feels... I have been trying to keep my shit together through this. It's been hard, but I've been trying. But it feels like you guys are doing a way better job at it than me.
Do you want to know a secret, Kayako?
Yeah, sure.
I think that even if I did need sleep, I would not be getting much of it. I make my rounds every night where I pace the ship and I check in on every room and every head and make sure that no one is thing I think that has kept me sane. And
no.
I miss my children so much. And I talk to them every night, but I also know that even if they weren't freed creations of the people we are trying to stop, just being my children makes them targets. And that is terrifying. And sometimes it is all that I can think about. But, as I said, the only way to function with all of this shit happening is to assume you are going to live through it, and everybody you love is going to live through it. And if you don't, it's not your problem anymore, and if they don't, you keep going. And that is how I deal with it.
I guess you're right. It's just... I don't know. There's... I was going through a lot, but I figured, hey, as long as I had Electra here, I had someone to relate to. I had someone to deal with it, and then she left. You know, to be with her family. Good for her, and probably the right decision, but kind of left me feeling alienated, I guess. Because, like, you guys are The Crystal Guardians, you guys are heroes. Like, I have plushies of, like, all of you. You know, even the one that isn't here anymore. And, like, I know that I'm special and I'm, like, the daughter of an Eidolon, and I'm, you know, also Hinakoken royalty, and I'm, well, not royalty, but, like, close to royalty, but... I just feel like, you know, compared to you guys, I don't belong here. And that's not me saying that I want to leave. I don't want to leave. I want to help you guys, but I don't... It's complicated.
I think you have been very, very helpful, quite frankly. Your skills as a technician alone have been deeply appreciated, and frankly, I think Ron is probably more capable of giving an accurate assessment in that area. I just kind of look on and be impressed. But outside of that, your skills in combat are incredible, and you can cook like a motherfucking badass, honestly. This shit is fucking delicious, and I'm very excited to finish whatever the hell we're making right now. But I digress. If you do not feel that you are worthy of being in our presence and of doing great things that we do, perhaps this is an issue more with your self-esteem than with the hard facts of reality, which are that you are remarkably competent and very helpful to this group of chucklefucks who are just kind of running around not sure what the fuck we're doing. And again, I am a massive narcissist, so I really don't have any advice for you there, because, like, I do not have that problem. But if you ever want to talk about it, or you ever want me to, like, gas you up, let me know, because I will write, like, a ballad.
That kind of sounds nice. Thank you for hearing me out, I guess.
Of course. Anytime. Genuinely.
Like, I feel like I can deal with it a little bit better. You know, not a lot better, but a little bit better.
Do you want to break things? We are, like, in an airship, like, so many feet above the ground. We can just throw shit if you want.
You know what? Yeah.
Everyone grab some plates. Bring your gun.
Alright, but we're gonna replace those, right?
Yeah. Sure.
Okay.
We have plenty. It'll be fine.
Okay.
Let's go up to the deck of the ship and throw plates like clay pigeons and have Kayako shoot them.
And you do, while Glee is trying to sleep under the stars. You're kind of just vibing, and Glee, you would see suddenly a rabbit and a cat person emerge from the deck of the ship and play a little shooting game with each other.
I'll just sit there and roll my eyes. I'm gonna do I just kind of want to do a detect thoughts, and we don't have to, like, you know, role play this out or anything. But I just kind of want to, like, I'm just gonna take turns, just kind of listening to everybody's thoughts, just on their surface level.
Okay.
Ooh.
So just kind of
interesting.
It's just a different way of getting to know people, you know.
That again?
So basically, I believe it is 30 or 60 feet. Let me see.
I believe it's 60 feet. Let me double check here. It is.
So 30 feet.
Oh, 30 feet of you. Yeah. So with either you can see within 30 feet of you, but you can also use it to detect the presence of thinking creatures you can't see.
Yeah.
So I'll just walk around and just listen to everybody's thoughts. Kind of grow accustomed to their mental voice, if you will.
Sure. If anybody would like to describe your current sort of state of mind right now, feel free to kind of go by one. I will go ahead and start because it makes sense. Would be Kayako. You'd be the first one since you're there on the roof.
Oh, gall.
Just surface level thoughts, nothing too deep. Just what you're currently vibing with right now.
Her main thoughts seem to be, okay, aim here, fire, focusing on the clay pigeons while there is faint screaming in the background.
Amazing. Emerald, you, any surface level thoughts you'd like to share?
Yeah, Emerald's surface level thoughts right now are very much just about keeping the party's mental fortitude up, because we're gonna need it. Just a lot of that. Just I really got to keep these motherfuckers with their eyes on the goddamn prize, because if they get distracted, I am going to die, and that is not acceptable. Very much I have surrounded myself with people who are more competent than me. I need to keep them together.
All right. And moving down, Tefra, what are your surface level thoughts right now? If you're there, Bethany.
Oh, probably something about well, so Tefra's got 3 trains of thought happening simultaneously all the time. 100% of the time, even at surface level, there's 3 tracks. One of the tracks is oh my god, Einar is just so hot, so capable, so strong. It blows my mind how blah 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 blah. It's there's that. There's I wonder what the lingering ramifications of Nethicite are on the user and on people that it is used against. I wonder if there have been any studies on the side effects. And then also something along the lines of, I am running so far fucking behind on my gift for Einar, it is not even funny. I should really get up and go do that, but I don't want to move.
All right. And Einar, initial surface thoughts?
I think she's probably thinking about how, firstly, how Emerald and Kayako said they were gonna make food, and now she's hearing gunshots from above the ship. It's okay, well, maybe that's not happening. She kind of wants food. Doesn't want to ask Tefra to do it, because that's just a second disaster waiting to happen. Einar doesn't want to do it. That's another disaster waiting to happen, and also the stove scares her.
Hold on.
Einar burns water, so...
The stove is very scary, okay? There are too many options, and it just gets real hot real fast, and it's just a lot.
Can't trust nobles with shit. But yeah. Anything else, Einar?
No, I think that's kind of the gist of the surface level thoughts. It's just weighing hunger against potentially burning the ship down.
Yeah. Moving down, Glee would be Kurgan, if you're there, Sam. Any surface level thoughts as you are researching things?
Kurgan is I guess the most immediate thing is Kurgan stressing over how something like nethicite grows and where it's supposed to like fit ecologically. And he's not super pleased about it, but is kind of reading along anyways. But kind of more generally, he's still pretty upbeat and excited about being in Clara and having the opportunity to meet people, except for the whole like all of these terrifying premonitions and whatnot. But it's like a little bit of forced optimism at this point.
Okay. And last but not least, Rune, any surface level thoughts?
So it was my thought that this was like later at night. Is that not correct?
Later at night, yeah.
Like when people should have been asleep or
are about to go to bed, yeah.
Okay. So Rone's surface level thoughts is do they not know that I sleep right on the top deck? Can they just stop with the bloody gunfire? I'm a half a mind to just go out there and tell them off right now. He's just trying to suppress.
Damn kids, get off my lawn.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. Cute.
Yeah.
Okay. And finally with Atropos, you hear beep boop beep boop. No, I'm kidding.
What's that?
You would hear from Atropos, I must protect my friends. I must protect my friends. Sort of repeating over and over again. Like a formula. Okay. And yeah. With that, anything else for the evening from anyone?
I think eventually Kayako would be like, okay, I'm good now. I'm finished with the food. Fucking much later in the night.
Alright. With that, as you all sort of come to rest, this time at your own ship, now that you have it, you end up vibing for the rest of the evening, and you finally succeed on your first full day of downtime. Amazing. At this point, you can go ahead and sort of move forward a tiny bit. I will say that you all what? Yeah, that's not proper binary anyways. It would have to be a certain number of characters and spaced out. But anyways, so I was gonna say, yeah. With that, you all are left to your own devices. You guys have 2 months of downtime to either do things with one another, hang out, speak with NPCs. I know that Tephra and Glee have dance practice, so a lot of their time will be spent to dance practice as well. This is also an opportunity for you all to either do some foraging, some crafting, if crafting is more your vibe, if you guys have any sort of like tool proficiencies you'd like to flex and craft some things during downtime, make some gifts or whatever. But you guys have 2 months, and if there's anything in specific that you'd like to play out, feel free to do so. There is also some other lists of potential activities on your menu, such as speaking with any of the senior druids, such as what's her name? Dante's hot mom, Cilia Erin, yes. She's constantly available as well if you need to discuss with her, as well as Hiri Nightbear, who's assisting with dance practice, and as well as just knowing that if you guys, whether you guys choose to interact with it or not, you'd hear about like the aforementioned rangers and druids that were psychically attacked and thrusted into a nightmare, where if they're forced awake, they kind of become erased from existence through the Akrama spell. But yeah, so just girly things. Anything specific that anybody would like to do downtime wise or interact with someone wise over the course of the next few days and or next day even, if there's something specific? We'll start with you, Bethany. I saw your hands first.
I have several. So, okay. Need to finish the thing for Einar. I think at some point we're going to roll to see how successfully that goes, and just to see how much I need to pay.
So first of all, I need you to roll me an investigation check.
Can I have advantage for fun?
Who are you asking for advantage to help you out?
Atropos?
Sure.
Can Kayako actually come in because she knows about the thing and be like, "Hey, Tephra, I think she saw it."
That's right. Kayako saw it. You were trying to hide it, and Kayako saw it when you were giving Glee the tour.
Oh, did Kayako know what it was?
I didn't know what it was. She just saw something, and Tephra tried to kind of like hide it. Basically, that was the intention.
I think Kayako's gonna go over to Tephra and be like, "Hey, whatever you're working on, I think it's very cool and flash of genius."
Oh, thank you.
But yeah, Atlas will be helping you, so you have advantage and a +5.
Okay, so that's an 18 plus. Wait, it's an investigation check. So
plus
28
plus 5 33.
33.
Amazing. With Atropos' help and Kayako's words of encouragement, fellow students under Yoru Sensei, you feel this camaraderie with each other as you're like, yeah, it is pretty fucking cool. And you kind of put your all into it as you feel a bit inspired. Great. Let me go ahead and check our DMs really quick. Betani. Oops, that is the wrong chat. I almost sent you porn.
I mean, you could if you really wanted to.
I will. Okay, perfect. Let's see. Envisioning. Okay, perfect. Let me go ahead and check some prices. Pikey. I need to check some prices real quick.
Pickle.
Little D&D Beyond. Okay.
D&D.
What's this bitch called again? Oh, yes.
I just realized we're listening to Howl's Moving Castle.
Yes, it is.
Oh, I forgot that I muted the page. I was like, how are y'all listening to Howl's Moving Castle?
Perfect. I need to check something. Okay. That's going to cost you, with your rolls and everything, 200 gold.
That's so much less than I was expecting.
It's a lot less because of your roll.
I guess I did roll a 33.
God.
Yeah, you basically halved it and then some. Okay. Anything else, Tephra, before we move on to someone else?
Yes. Okay.
It'll
so that will take some time. Einar's birthday is the 3rd, so
you guys have you have a couple weeks. It is currently, we progressed the calendar Persona style. It is currently the 15th, so it is now the weekend of April.
Working on that, and then Tephra has some research topics that she wants to research.
What topics would you like to research over the course of the next few days?
How to unasleep the sleepy bitches. Dalamud, potential reasons for crash. And then Demogoths, histories of contacts with Demogoths, ways Demogoths can be counteracted.
Okay, cool. Go ahead and roll me investigation check and arcana check.
Oh, I birthday's the first, apparently.
Oh, yeah. I thought it was the third.
It's May 1st. May 1st, Einar's birthday.
Okay.
Did I say third?
You did say third, but I thought it was the third also.
Was looking at a note that said first.
Amazing.
Okay, first roll. I'm rolling kind of hot tonight. Wait, is my first roll investigation or arcana?
Investigation.
That's a 28.
Hate that.
This one's less good. This one's dirty 20.
Less good, they whine, as it's a 20.
I rolled a 6!
Anyways. Alright, I'll get back to you on that. But go ahead and write in your chat, investigating the stuff, and then list all the stuff that you were looking into.
Cool.
Okay, next we'll go on to Gleondar. What are we up to, dude?
Yeah, no, first thing, I'm just gonna continue to, get to know Huri, Big Titty Night Owl, and, just flirt and, get information a little bit here and there. You want me to roll for any of that?
Well, what exactly, how are you kind of interacting with him?
I think, there's... I think I'm asking him largely, the kind of, oh, people are so interesting, has anyone weird or, super different come through, over drinks and whatnot. I think there's a flirtatiousness to it, but, I'm trying to find out about Rashad without actually saying his name.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me a persuasion check at advantage.
Okay. And then that's a 7.
On advantage? Damn, that was not good.
Yeah, that's not great. It was a 7 and a 5. Persuasion. Wow, I'm really not good at this skill. That's only 12.
12 total. Oh, you didn't get proficiency in it?
No, I have other things I'm proficient in.
Yeah. Okay. With that, I would say that there's definitely sort of a flirtatious vibe here. He's very, very receptive of it, but also kind of secretive at the same time. He's a bit standoffish, and they are also trying to focusing on their own things. But they're more than happy to sort of spend time with you. And that's kind of the vibe you would get. And among other things, if you'd like to spend time with Huri in rooms where there are no others. But yeah.
Yeah, no, I think it definitely stayed the night a few times.
It's kind of like you tell your friends, hey, don't wait up for me. I'm gonna stay at a friend's place. You kind of tell the others, and it's I'll see you guys next time in the morning, maybe after my walk of shame.
It would be a flight of shame, and it would be really fast, so that it would explain any ruffled hair. Flight explains it. I just went for my morning flight.
Amazing. Anything else in particular over the course of the next couple of days?
Yeah, no, I think there would be after maybe a few nights, those who might be paying attention would notice Gleondar gets really frazzled, and there's a very clear amount of inner turmoil going on, and maybe after dinner or something, just kind of quickly stands up, leaves the table, good night everybody, and goes back to his room, and he is going to pull out his book and opens it up and says, okay, Scrib, I've got this really big problem, and the pages will ruffle up into this kind of animated scroll-like being. which I can send a picture here real quick. And just gonna be like, okay, so I know I'm looking for Rashad, but Harry's really nice, and I really don't want to manipulate him any further.
The little like bundle of paper, kind of like very judgily, and their little like ropes are kind of crossing its arms, kind of like. Mm-hmm.
No, I know. So just to clarify, using Dream to extract the information, is not a good idea.
You'd see as like a script kind of just lifts up their little ropey like bits that hold the paper together, kind of like in an X.
You're right. The easy way is never the right way. Papa's really put their values into you, didn't they?
Yeah, just shrugs.
All right, you little rascal. And I'll just kind of like lay down, and I'll look at the components that I've set out: the sand and the ink vial and the bit of chest hair that I might or might not have grabbed from Harry. I'll just kind of blow some of my green hair out of the way and tuck it in a bag for some time else.
Amazing. All right, perfect. Thank you, Glee, and we'll get back to you soon once you go through everyone else. All right, who's next? Don't be shy. Okay, Bowen.
So during this downtime period, Emerald is going to be trying to find more information, just general information, of course, about Eidolons and Ouroboros and their history and their, historical correlations.
Sorry, Eidolons and what in their history?
Ouroboros. Obviously not using the name, but
no, I wasn't trying to catch you. I genuinely didn't hear.
Yeah. And then also Emerald is going to put some serious time and effort into learning about Ava's past, because that's not really something that Emerald has pride on. Up to and including asking her if it's okay if they do research about what they can find about her and her organization from history.
Yeah.
And then obviously lots of letters to family, lots of sendings to the kids, and then lots of language stuff. Yeah,
we can parse through language stuff whenever off the table. But with regards to asking Ava about just some subtle prying, just to kind of, because of how severe it seems and how useful it may turn out to be, go ahead and roll me a persuasion check at advantage.
Okay. I will also see what I can do, specifically asking Atropos to send some messages to Tot to get some shit from Alexandria about how the crystals on other continents are faring.
So some news updates.
Yeah, and trying to see if any of them want us to come and look at their shit. Yeah, so also that. Sorry, just a whole lot of shit going on. Now I will roll. You said charisma?
Persuasion at advantage.
Persuasion. Yes, thank you. I'm sorry, Foundry reloaded, so I have to pull up my shit again.
You're good. I believe your persuasion.
Oh no, I don't have dice. I'm rolling digitally.
Oh, okay, never mind.
I am in bed.
Hope you're feeling a little better.
I feel significantly worse. It's kind of hard to breathe again.
I'm screaming.
Yeah.
All right, well, 25 is very good. Ava will kind of just be like, if you think it would be useful, I think it might be time, my dear Emerald. Would you have told Ava about what Kayako saw?
Oh yeah, Emerald tells Ava fucking everything,
Okay, cool.
literally,
So,
like
well-
play by play every single day. Like, and then they said this.
So yeah, we'll assume that anything you tell Emerald is basically telling Ava. Ava will say, your turtle friend is certainly correct. It sounds like it is Netherite, which is very disturbing, to say the least.
Do you have much experience with Nethicite?
Not personally. I wouldn't dare touch that stuff. Some summoners in my sect have debated on using it, but I was able to conduct research into seeing that it has an effect on summoners. It can cause an enhancement in our abilities to connect with the Eidolons we are contracted to, but it can also cause us to lose sight of our own humanity. Please be careful if you were to encounter it, my dear.
I do not think that even I am foolish enough to try and use that kind of detrimental power.
It is curse-based. If you have abilities to ward against curses, the effects would be debilitated slightly. However, it has been quite some time, and I fear the snakes perhaps have found ways to bolster its effects. Regardless, I'm more than happy to discuss with you in depth about the things that I have seen, my associates in my past. I think it's time, especially with the revelation of Yeshua. Yes, this is quite a big deal, yes. And
Oh yeah, I mean, missing Kor Eidolon, are you kidding? And also it's Kayako's mom. That part's kind of fucked up.
well, let's just say that don't knock it till you try it.
Oh, I will keep that in mind.
It's perhaps, I feel comfortable talking with you about it, but let's just say that Lady Shiva is very divine.
My dear, I am so glad that you have had your fun, and you are welcome to continue having your fun in that area. I will get you guys like chips and dip or something.
You are just so kind. I love you so much.
I do my very best.
She's like caressing you in your little dream space. But yeah, I'll go ahead and then I'll message you later about some Ava lore, deep Ava lore
I
that you
love
now have
deep
access
Ava lore.
You now unlocked it. Achievement unlocked.
Yes.
But yeah,
Finally got enough romance points.
yeah, you did. You finally unlocked romance points to unlock those dialogue options. All right, thank you, Bowen. We'll get to that later then. And also for your other investigation stuff, we can consider it information Ava would give to you actually, rather than you actually researching it yourself. Because Ava will have access to that.
I love it.
Okay, perfect.
I love having a phantasmal sugar mommy.
Basically. Okay, next, I believe Kayako.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so number one. First order of business. She's gonna continue working on her little robot buddy.
Yes. No check needed. You can definitely continue working and definitely finish it in a couple days.
Yeah.
Why are you looking so suspicious, Craig?
There's some very disturbing material in the chat. That's all.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Second of all, which one should I do first? I'll do the one I was gonna do first. Kayako's gonna go to Tephra, actually, and be like, "Hi, okay, so with how much shit has been going on recently, I mean, I've been trained by Yoru, but I've never been great with swords. Like, I'm okay, I'm good with them, but, you know, you're clearly better technique with them, and I was wondering if you wanted to help me train. If you're too busy, I get that.
So there were 2 questions you asked me. One was if I could help you train, which to which I suppose I have to ask a question back. But for the first one was how much shit has been going on? Like what kind of stuff?
No. With how much shit has been going on.
Oh! I thought you were asking how much shit has been going on,
No,
and I was like...
I am deathly aware.
Keeping secrets. Okay. Do you want to do what Yoru and I do? Is that what you're asking? Or do you just want to train with a sword?
A bit of both, I guess?
Because the art of blade song might take you a little bit more time, but I'm happy to work with you on it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't expect to, get it within, a few days or even a few months, but, I think
do you like to read?
I do read a lot.
The quirk of Bethany's brow as they asked that with such hope.
Because, my god, do I have books. And then Tephra sort of excitedly grabs Kayako and just bodily drags her.
Okay, I guess I didn't need to give the counter offer of offering cooking lessons.
Oh, wait, that would also be so dope. I'm trying to cook. I want to cook Ainara birthday breakfast. And I think I'm going to fuck it up disastrously. So if you want to help with that, that would be incredible.
Yeah, sure. I'll teach you what I know.
Yes. So I can have one thing going for me. But Tephra drags Kayako to the top decks. It goes, wait here, and goes downstairs, brings a stack of books about as tall as Tephra, and an extra couple swords. And is this is required and also optional reading. We'll get to it in a moment. But first, let's go over some of the basic sword stances. And the basic tenets of blade song. We are channeling magic through our motion. So what I want you to do now is you can do magic, right?
Yes.
I want you to hold the blade and pretend this is an extension of your arm. I want you to try to cast something not through your fingers, not through your hands, but through the blade.
Okay, I can try that. I mean, I cast stuff through my guns all the time, so... and she's gonna take the blade and try that.
Awesome. So yeah, you can spend some time doing that as you practice some swordplay with Tephra. Make one.
Sounds like an innuendo, but you're literally doing swordplay.
Are doing swordplay, yeah.
And then, assuming we aren't playing the rest of that out, we're just saying that's what happens. There was a third thing I wanted to do.
Sure. What's the third thing?
And I didn't think to do this until after Gleandar had mentioned his thing. So, I imagine that when he quickly excused himself, Kayako would be like, huh, that's weird, and go check up on him.
Okay. Are you there, Cal?
Yup.
Yeah, so Kayako's gonna go ahead and check on you while you're kind of just vibing. Every so often, you hook up with who's so and so.
How much does she overhear?
I'm not sure if she would overhear much. It's more just, I think it's more or less that like she kind of like notices you coming in and out and going.
It's like specifically after him like excusing himself quickly.
Oh, is this like when he talked to the?
Yes.
Like way before then. Okay, we should have done this first then. So,
oh yeah, sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. Because I was kind of unsure time wise because we had already moved on. Basically.
I was unsure time wise as well. Yeah. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're good. So yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're good. So we'll go ahead and rewind back to that then.
I forgot.
Yeah. So with that, you go ahead and reach out to Glee around that moment where he kind of talks to his piece of paper, basically.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, so I'm like putting away the chest hair in the baggie.
Yes, basically.
And then I hear a knock. What? There's nothing going on.
Kayako is gonna crack open the door, look inside. You alright?
Yes, I'm just fine. And I just like start. You hear a bunch of paper crinkling as I try to like shove all the scrolls back into the book and shut the book. You hear an impact. Come in.
Okay. Are you okay?
Yes, I'm fine. It's so nice to have you here. It's my room.
You sound like you're hiding something.
No, I'm really not. I'm actually just kind of overacting at the moment.
Oh. Yeah, I kind of get overreacting.
Yeah, you just surprised me. Come in, sit down.
Okay. Nothing much. She like sits down in there. What was with all those scrolls that you were?
Oh, just my journal. You know, private stuff.
Oh. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah. But you can always share private stuff with a little exchange of secrets.
Well, I mean, I don't know if I have many secrets to exchange, but okay.
Oh, you've just met me. You surely have some. I mean, well, secrets to me. So I'll do or you do a secret first, and then I'll do a secret.
My dad fucked an Eidolon?
Right. Yeah, we should circle back. How does that make you feel?
I don't know, honestly. Like, I'm conflicted. Like, on one hand, what the fuck, Dad? But on the other hand, it's kind of impressive because, like, it's an Eidolon that's been lost for, like, years, and then my dad, like, found the Eidolon, and then just...
Well, I mean, that must mean your dad impressed the Eidolon.
I guess. I mean, he is pretty impressive. Like, he's like a captain of... I'm looking it up.
Like a pirate?
No. He's like a samurai guy.
Right.
I'm totally not looking it up right now. He's the lead member of the Sekisegumi, if you know what those are. If you know who they are.
I know what those are.
History check.
That is a 15.
15. Yeah, so you know that the Sekisegumi are kind of like the samurais of Hinogoku, so they are kind of like the law-keeping force, but they're also like a noble class, all roped into one thing. So you're not too sure who like Kayako or her father are, but you understand kind of like the weight of having that as a status that was still relevant even during your time. And yeah, it's almost like a knighthood, so to speak, but in Hinokoku, but nobility all the same. Typically, it's like a nobility by blood, but there are rare cases where like a commoner could sort of like climb up the ranks of the Sekisagumi and have some sort of class mobility in that regard.
Gotcha. Wow, that sounds like a big shadow.
Yeah, it kind of is actually, but I've had training. I've had quite a bit of.
I mean, you definitely showed your stuff back in the simulation.
Yeah. Even though I got utterly wrecked.
We all got wrecked.
That is true. That is true.
So. We'll have a rematch one of these days.
Yeah. We should definitely have a 4v3 with Kurgam on our side and see if they still beat us.
That would be fun. Is Kurgam a melee fighter?
I'm not. No.
We should have all the ranged people fight the melee people.
The one time I wild shape into a melee form.
Yeah, that's true. Kurgam could wild shape into a melee thing.
Not a good one.
Yeah, you wouldn't be that great. But you could catch
I guess I don't tell a lot of people my dad is in the Sekisei Gumi, do I?
What was that? Sorry, Kayako?
Oh, she was like, I guess I don't tell a lot of people my dad is in the Sekisei Gumi, do I?
I mean, I didn't know, but I've only known you for like a day, so...
Yeah. I mean, I don't feel like it's relevant to bring up, because I kind of want to stand on my own merits.
Yeah. No, I get that. I think you do.
Yeah, thanks.
And honestly, I feel like the longer I'm around you, the more you'll prove that to be true, so...
Thanks. I appreciate that. Anyway, does that count as a secret for secret for secret?
Yes. Secret. Well, one of my dads is a hag.
I mean, that's mean to say, but okay.
No, like deals and trades and fae, like an actual hag.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and they, well, I haven't seen them, to be honest. I haven't seen any of my dads, but that's that's a secret. I don't really tell anyone that. Actually, I'm not sure I've told anyone about them. Now think about it.
Huh.
Please don't tell it around. It's kind of the kind of fae that need their secrets to, survive.
Yeah, no, I get that, let's see. But like, do you know where they live, where they are?
No, they disappeared shortly. From what I can tell, at least, shortly after I started attending ESTA.
I mean, if you want, we can like try to send to them.
I'm not sure how safe that will be. If I'm being perfectly honest.
Yeah, I guess it makes sense.
Kind of the mysterious, quiet dad, kept to themselves. But loved me and everything, but just was a little secretive. maybe sometime we could try reaching out to one of my other dads. I never. Did you say sending? Like the spell?
Yeah.
I never quite figured that one out.
I mean, God, do I know it? I mean, I never figured it out either, but apparently
Tefra knows it if you really need to send something.
So does Emerald.
Apparently, like the Moogle on this ship, Boydle, I think their name is.
Yeah, the summoner. That still blows my mind. Also, what was that fucking white beast that showed up?
Oh yeah, that was Fenrir.
That's overkill. That's what that is.
Yeah, that is overkill.
Emerald
You're right.
overkill? Never.
That was a lot. Yeah, no. Maybe sometime else. I'm kind of preoccupied with some other deeds.
Alright.
It was nice talking to you. Maybe we could all have a secret circle.
Ooh, that could be fun.
I know we just did like something like that the other night, but it's just really fun.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you so much for coming. You know, I hear there's a lovely smoothie that Tefra is working on. Maybe you should try that.
Wait a minute, Tefra doesn't know how to cook.
I don't know that making a smoothie counts as cooking.
Oh,
Yeah,
She's been working on it.
Tefra doesn't know
Well,
how to
I mean,
food.
I'll try it, see what it needs.
Yeah. Would you take notes for me and tell me all about it? No, that's overkill. Never mind. We're back to the overkill conversation. Never mind.
Okay.
While can I try as I am ushering Kayako to the door? Can I try to grab a bit of loose fur or hair?
Can I?
From Kayako, yeah, sleight of hand.
Can I insight check this bitch?
You can't. You wouldn't have been able to.
Dang.
Okay. That is 17.
All right. Let me go ahead. I believe Kayako actually might notice it. No, it just beats it. Kayako, your passive perception is 16.
Damn. Fair enough.
Yeah, you are just able to grab a strand of hair.
Kayako's like, okay, bye.
I'll talk to you later. So door shuts.
Amazing.
What a weird guy.
With that, we have Kayako. Okay. So
Sorry.
No, you're good. With that, we have who would like to go next? I think we have Craig, Haley, and Sam.
I'd go if that's good with everybody.
Sure.
Yeah.
Ron would like, after a couple of days of trying it on his own, to see if there's any kind of master gemsmith in this town.
Master Gemsmith.
Yeah,
Okay.
someone who shares the jewelry.
It would actually be. You would know that it would actually be Hiri Nightbearer.
Yeah, perfect.
So, because Hiri, he kind of manages all the crystals. So he's also helping with the dance teaching. It's funny because Hiri Nightbearer doesn't practice monastic arts, but it's very similar in the sense that he masters the art of crystal healing, but through the use of druidic magic. So still nature, crystal and healing and crystals and knowing what the gems and gem work and how to create accessories and stuff like that.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay, so Ron would go to them.
Yeah.
And basically inquire if
he had any advice for cracking a particularly large quartz stone and cutting it into something that is durable, maybe focuses some magic, and would hold a sharp blade.
Interesting.
Wait, the quartz would hold a blade?
Don't worry about it.
What do you mean? Like, how?
Don't worry about it, Benny.
I'm worried about it.
I know you're worried about it.
Are you going to ask Tephra for help crafting a magical focus?
It's not a focus.
You said something that could focus magic.
That could focus magic. I think if you were to present it to Hiri would let you know that it's definitely a mechanism that is pretty possible. It depends on the other crystals you intend on using. Are you intending on using the quartz as the blade itself? Or
that's my intention, yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. I think Hiri would say that if you were to break it down, he'll just say they'll just say yes, if you would like to use it for weapon capabilities, the quartz itself naturally can channel magic in of itself, but it should be able to hold on its own. I would suggest some kind of talks about certain devices, and it's very likely you have a device similar to that, if not a more modern version of it on the ship. And it kind of gives you after some discussion, I would say, since he's pretty interested in your idea, and kind of has an inkling about what you might want to do with it. Kind of gives you
some drawings as well to show him. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I was just about to say that he would definitely check out the drawings, and I'm gonna go ahead and roll something.
Actually, Roan carries the bag of holding, so he'd bring the quartz to him and just do you see? He's probably got a bunch of charcoal marks where he's planning to cut. Yeah,
here he's able to break it down. And Rune, go ahead and roll me an investigation check.
Investigation, okay. Give me 1 second, because I'm without...
You're without dice?
Without dice as well today.
What's going on without real dice rollers?
I got a whole map in front of me.
Nice.
That was almost a 1 on my screen.
Jesus Christ, a 29.
Yeah.
Okay. With a 29, yeah. You'd see his hero just say, I'm surprised that you decided to come to me for help at all. It seems you have it quite well put together. However, I think in order to ensure that it sustains and the quality doesn't lessen over time, I think this modification will ensure that you won't run into any problems adjusting it to yourself. This will also allow it for mobility as well. Kind of just adding some amendments to your sort of blueprints.
Yeah.
And we'll say, but you pretty much have the baseline already in set. And if you were to keep it open here, you could potentially upgrade it down the line as well.
Excellent. Thank you for all the help. This is one large piece of quartz crystal, so I did not want to rush into it. But I appreciate the help, and I'm not so good with the magical conductivity. I could make it sharp, but so I appreciate the notes and the mechanisms. I'll let you know. Well, I'll bring it to you when I'm finished.
I'd like to see the final product. That would be lovely.
Absolutely. Hopefully it's not in many pieces.
I have faith in you. And I will kind of just as they say that, you kind of feel this sense of something sort of you feel a bit lucky. You're feeling a little inspired almost.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. Cool. And then over the course of the downtime, Roan's going to be kind of getting back to basics here of all places into his kind of really working on his jewel crafting and that he's got a couple of projects, and the one we were discussing right now, and the other one involving the jade. I don't know if you saw what I had thought up that one for, but
I did.
Yeah, I'd like to do both of those over our downtime. We don't have to roll it now, but
yeah, perfect. All right. Next we have Sam and or Haley.
I mean, yeah.
Go ahead.
I was like, I will also have my Hiri appointment.
Yuri's just like, okay, next on the list. You see as like Rune like leaves, sees like Einar patiently like sitting upright in the waiting room.
I'm here for my Red Cross blood drive donation.
Yeah.
Whatever it was.
Yeah, it was. I believe we did require a bit of your blood. As shady as that sounds.
Fun. Totally trusting him. It's cool. It's fine.
Yeah. So yeah, you go ahead and assisting in creating the lifeblood crystal in order to assist your Rosea. Is there anything else that you would like to inquire about Hiri during your appointment? During your appointments, I should say, plural, because it would have been over a course of time.
No, I don't think. I mean, I imagine she'd. If it's not like distracting him, it'd probably just make like polite small talk. I don't know about him, his family, whatever his deal is. Just like
He would just tell you that ironically he doesn't know too much. He the last thing he really remembers is a couple hundred years ago he had awakened in the Vermilion Forest, and that he had awakened in the nude, covered in vines, trapped by a plant creature. No idea, no memory of who he was. And sort of eventually found his way out of the Vermilion Forest, took on the name Hiri Nightbear because they sort of got wrapped up in some of the local indigenous tribes in the Calacan continent. He sort of just knew that he had a connection with nature and magic, so like he always had access to his druidic magic, and definitely has a mastery to it that transcends beyond almost close to archdruid levels, but without the proper experience or knowledge to really harness it. And I think like other sort of small talk it would develop into, and Glee, you'd already know this as well, is just that I would say that he has no interest in finding out what his past was. He's kind of lived already long enough in the now, in his new identity, to the point where he feels like he doesn't need to find out, and nor does he have any curiosity to. So of course, there's a part of him that wonders what his past self was and hopes that his past self was a good person. But if not, then they can just live as they are now, which is kind of what he's been doing. And has sort of stayed with Clara ever since, and has sort of made some rounds traveling around to Caligo. Hasn't really left the Caligo continent since reawakening. Kind of feels drawn to stay here, and has stayed in Clara for the past about a couple of decades or so.
Cool. Good for them.
Yeah. All right. Cool. And last but not least, if there's something else you wanted to kind of try and do during the initial couple of days of downtime. So, ma'am.
Right.
Slam.
I think Kurgum is primarily still, I guess, like researching and whatnot. But I think he'd also just be generally trying to beat the people that he like finds. Like if he stumbles off like the council members they've met before, he'd be talking to them. I think he's particularly interested in, I guess, how people came to Druidism. Like were they just born in Clara and it seemed like a natural decision, or did they actively like seek it out, or what?
Yeah, I would say that, you could probably also have Kurgum his own little appointment with Big Titty Hiri Nightbear. And I definitely, like Hiri would have told most people, for him, he always had a connection to it when he had awakened with no real knowledge of his past. With some others in here in Clara, you'd understand it's definitely more of a traditional sort of thing. Most of the folks here were born into it. Other folks came from other places and just wanted a commune to live away from civilization, society, and the worries of a big, large, sort of like capitalistic lifestyle sort of thing, and living in more of a commune and sharing in their appreciation of nature and magic. Clara in particular, however, is definitely much more familial based and legacy based rather than newer people coming in. But they don't turn away newcomers either. For example, Hiri technically themselves is also a newcomer and has stayed for the past couple decades. So it really just depends on the situation. But I think for the most part, you'd find that most people here, such as like the Aranyas family, like Miss Cilia, who was Dante's mom that took you guys in, she was born into it. And like Sriracha, who's the archdruid, the dragonborn lady, she was actually originally from Burmecia and was a cleric of Bahamut before deciding to fully switch into a druidic lifestyle. So there's definitely some interesting little like story bits and getting some insight of the past and how times have changed. Like Sriracha, for example, has witnessed a lot because she's been old for a very long time. Kind of lived through the War of the Dragons and everything like that, and deciding that their druidic lifestyle is the best for what they want because they truly do believe in true neutrality. So it's been something that's kept Clara safe and their morals safe as well.
Just taking notes.
Yeah, no worries. And feel free to keep writing, and if there's anything else, you can ask me as well.
Not that I can think of right now.
Gotcha. All right. We will now circle back to Tephra if you are there, B-Tony.
Yeah.
Okay, Bethany. As you search up and inquire about your research topics, you're able to dive into it very well. And plus, it's kind of refreshing to sort of have so much time dedicated to just relaxing and reading, knowing that not having to prepare for some sort of like wild infiltration or some like constant battle. And I think everybody kind of feels this too. Now that you're here in Clara, it's very peaceful, and it's such a nice departure from how tumultuous the past week alone has been for you all, and for the rest of the Crystal Guardians. Essentially, the past few months since the beginning of your journey has felt like full force, nonstop adventuring. Even in your first month off in Lindblum, you guys were kind of involved in a lot of crazy shenanigans, like hunting down like a serial killer and everything like that. So it was nuts. But you guys finally, it seems as though you guys are actually able to kind of rest here and also get to dance and perform again, which has been really refreshing for you. So, let's see. I would say that at this point, regarding your discoveries, first of all, how to unsleep the sleepy bitches. You do think that from your studies and from what has been seen, that the druids have tried, some sort of physical force, like a forceful jolt, is definitely not the way to go, as it's resulted in some sort of the spells triggering. It might have to do with some form of like some form of like channeling of an energy that is incapable to be accessed even by one such as powerful as Archdruids, since the Archdruids have been unable to break it themselves, meaning that it's not as simple as casting Dispel Magic or even Dispel Evil and Good. It must be something like another secret thing, something that perhaps you and your lot could potentially add into the equation that the others, that the druids here didn't have access to, and thus were unsuccessful so far. You kind of are looking through your studies, comparing datas, analyzing entry points, and you begin to realize that your party is quite peculiar for a lot of regards. You have a summoner, first of all. You have an icon who literally has the energies of an Eidolon within her as well. Kuragum himself, even though he may appear to be just a turtle and a druid following the circle of the wildfire, seems to have some greater connection to the Eidolons as well from the vision that you had with Yeshua, as well as other instances that you had recalled, kind of recalling like oddities that kind of all add up. You're kind of like Pepe Sylvia. You're like, this makes sense because you remembered instances where Kuragum's abilities were bolstered higher than expected, due to his connection to flame. For example, the infiltration with at the warehouse in Lindblum. You recalled how when he had wild shaped into a spider, it took on aspects that were not typical of the wild shape, elemental aspects. It was larger, it was stronger, it had flames sort of curling across its like antennae and whatnot, and legs, and you kind of feel that there's something there that's untouched. Of course, Einar seems to have an interesting connection with the Fae herself, Rune's divine influence, and even Glee, whom you had just met, has a very interesting connection to the Fae that is able to access some magics that you're not too familiar of, thanks to the witchcraft that he's proficient in. You kind of look and you wonder where can you begin and potentially utilizing your unique aspects as a group in order to solve this riddle or this equation, because you feel confident that you guys are the missing piece. There's something that you guys can offer to help with the druids and the rangers that are trapped in their nightmarish sleep, potentially through the use of some higher tiers of magic. I would say that one that you would feel a bit more confident in, which I'm not sure if you actually know yourself, Tephra. But one spell that you think would be the spell Dream could potentially be a way to potentially try and assist those who are trapped in this trance. It could be dangerous, however. So maybe trying to like figure out how to cast it, and if there's any way to support one another through casting. That would be the first step.
Right. It's a 5th level spell, I think, right?
Yeah.
I had the thought dream, like maybe we could go into their dreams and like try to wake them from there.
Mm-hmm.
Does Kuragum know Dream? Is it on the druid spell list?
It is not on the druid spell list.
Yeah. I was thinking, okay, wait. So, me and Bethany trying to piece things together. Things that our group can offer that the druids cannot. We have divine stuff, right? So we could potentially call on the Eidolons for help. At least somewhat. Kuragum has no dreams. And if calling on the Eidolons doesn't work, perhaps going to Jean and asking very nicely for a discount on a dream spell scroll.
It'll be hefty.
Even if I ask oh so nicely and say it's for a good purpose.
5th levels are when the price starts getting pretty heavy.
Out of character, doesn't Glee have a dream thing?
Yes, Glee does have access to dreams.
No, I do not. Yes.
Well, then we can just make Glee do it and not spend my money.
Not that you'd know, but yeah.
Yeah, we wouldn't
But
know.
that's something that you could discuss with a party.
Oh,
I
yeah.
would discuss it with the party either way because I would end up probably using party funds. At which point, I assume Glee would be like, "Oh, I can just do that."
Yeah,
No,
I
I-
can say that.
Why? Wait, what? I could just teach you. We could do it together.
Ha, spicy. That would be good.
Yeah.
Okay, how to
Alright.
unsleep the sleepy bitches. Divine magic plus dream.
Not you organizing your notes like this.
Me saying words out loud is exactly what I'm typing in my notes. I hope you know. Okay. Next.
Next, Delamode, reasons for crash. You don't know. It's there's nothing that ever proposed that those things that the moon would ever crash into each other, both Minfina and Delamode. It seems kind of crazy to even think about, and physically and scientifically impossible. It has to be some sort of force because there's no way it would happen naturally. That's what you would know for sure. Because like naturally it's just impossible for that to happen. So it must be through some sort of external force. We do know that sometimes, however, weird phenomena can happen, like cataclysmic events can happen, such as when the Purge happened and the summoners were wiped out. Crazy, unthinkable natural phenomena did happen, but the moons crashing into each other is definitely not natural by any means.
Right. I didn't think it was, but like, does Tefra get any idea of like what sort of power it would take to cause that? Do I think that it would take like a Demogoth or something else?
You think potentially it could be. It seems like a feat potentially granted by a being as powerful as a Demogoth or some other higher being or lower being, relatively speaking.
Okay.
Right.
I didn't think I was going to get a lot on that, but I might as well have tried it.
Yeah. And last but not least, Demogoth. You would know nothing. I'm kidding. You would know that Demogoths, kind of like what you had learned in the other campaign, are sort of fiendish beings where you can create contracts with for them to grant you excellent amounts of magical power, usually at the cost of your suffering. So that means that usually and I would say that like you would recall a history of like individuals who have brands almost very similar to individuals that you would understand in some circles that are referred to as the Lassie, who are essentially people who are branded by Eidolons to be granted magical power that are above typical like mortal capabilities, but they are often given a purpose known as a focus. And Demogoths seem to be able to foster almost like a what's the word? Like a poor imitation of it, or like almost like a parody of it, because they are able to create their own contracts with people and essentially turn them into false Lassies almost with their symbols.
Did those bitches in Selk have a deal with a Demogoth that we did not discover?
You guys never looked it up, so.
But okay.
Yeah. Horrific, aberrant symbols and brands that are abyssal in nature, that grant them magics beyond mortal means.
Is there anything about counteracting Demogoths that I find or is it just hopeless? They're too powerful.
They are very powerful beings. The only way you can really try and stop them is by slaying them, which is a feat in of itself, as Demogoths are notoriously difficult to kill, and the mere sight of them is said to cause insanity.
Cool.
They are the world's boogeyman. Anything else?
But I'm thinking. 'Cause,
Why are you crying?
It's not helpful. No, it's good. Well, it doesn't give me places to go from here.
You do have
Gosh.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I think that's all. I think Tefra would spend the rest of her time, by the way, like helping the druids figure out what's up with their crystal.
Yeah. And I would say like you wouldn't have gotten all this information in one day either. This is like days of research and like weeks and whatnot. Okay.
Tefra's like, interesting, fake Lucino like thing. Noted. Nothing else helpful about Demogoth other than God, they scare me.
I would say you do recall a similar aberrant mark appearing with dark magics, even in your very first encounter that you had all joined hands together the very first day on that fateful night
you're right.
with Lim. The dark magic to cause the darkness inside of the play, as well as the magical blast that she had delivered against you all.
Okay, well, Tefra definitely shares that information with the group. And it's like, even fucking Lim!
Who the fuck is Lim?
Yeah, Kayako doesn't know who that is.
You know, Lim. Okay, that's all I got.
All right. With that, is there other than information that I know we had discussed that I will be messaging you privately? Is there anything in particular downtime wise that y'all would like to do immediately in the first couple weeks of your downtime? Remember, we have 2 months, so this will be considered like the first, I'll say, half of it.
Is there?
Go ahead, Bob. Yeah.
Is there any If I go to Jeans, are there any like magical items that can shield you from scrying or from like just shit like that?
Amulet of Non-Detection is extremely expensive. She would let you know that she technically has them in stock, but they're not even on her at the store. They're very rare, obviously highly sought after, and typically she only has them as a formality because they're often used as auction items. The cheapest, the market price they typically go for is, I believe, 20,000 gold each.
Ooh.
And
that's about as expensive as a fucking armor set.
Yeah, and
how about to protect you from like curses?
Curse stuff, it's still a little difficult. I wouldn't say not nearly as exorbitant expensive, but still quite pricey. Curse resistant gear is also hard for her to gather because it's less magic enchantments and more divine blessing. She'd say that you'd have a better chance of sort of requesting that from probably a big city with like a church sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and then mind reading effects.
You want to protect against mind reading effects?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, once again, unfortunately, there wouldn't be much to protect you with that in that regard either. I think the only thing, which actually, there is one thing. Let me look up her stock. There is. Wait. Hold on one moment. Okay. Hold on, sorry. It would be the Ring of Mind Shielding, which he actually does have in stock. Let me find my price for it. If I can find it. Here it is. Okay. The Ring of Mind Shielding will run you for 700 gold.
Whew.
Still pretty expensive, but much more achievable.
Does it take an attunement slot?
I believe it does. Let me check just to make sure. Ring of Mind Shielding. It does. Yes, it does require attunement. But basically, she'll just mention to you, like, oh, this will render you immune to magic to allow others to read your thoughts. And they also can only telepathically communicate with you if you choose it, which is quite useful if you don't want to get some nasty, unwanted messages.
That is incredibly useful.
And you can also you can also make the ring invisible on your person, so someone might not even know you have it.
Even better. How many attunement slots do we have?
3 total.
3 total? Okay. Jean, my dear, my darling.
Yes.
Would you be willing to work with me on another payment plan?
You just paid your last one off.
What can I say? I like being indebted to you.
Oh, you are so charming. Too charming for your own good. How much can you put down?
I've got 89 gold.
I would say we also have $35,000 in the party fund.
Emerald is not telling the party about this.
Okay.
35,000 or 3,500?
3,500. Sorry, did I?
Okay, that's what I thought. I just wanted to double check.
Yeah.
Okay, damn. When I give you that much,
We're hoarding it.
Okay.
Dang.
Some of us are.
She'll say, okay, "Go ahead. Go ahead and just roll me a gay persuasion check."
I can do gay persuasion.
I know you can.
Oh god, I rolled an advantage. Just take the first one.
The first one was the better one, ironically.
Beautiful.
So 26. Yeah, she'll say, you've proven to me time and time again that you're able to pay off your debts, and I have a feeling that you might need this where you are going. By all means. And she will grant you this pretty little ring that looks like a brain attached to it. Oops, that is the complete wrong image. I literally almost just sent you Spider-Man's ass.
That's fine.
Why does
You're
it still
allowed.
want me to send you Spider-Man's ass? I mean, I will. If I see it again, I'm just gonna click send this time. But that's what the ring looks like. And she will slide it onto your finger for you.
Alright, who is the one in the group who wanted the Staff of Frost?
I don't think anyone else really wanted it.
Son of a bitch.
But I mean, Glee could probably use it.
I think
I don't think Glee has many magic slots, so and Glee is a spellcaster and could use any means to boost his offensive capabilities.
Yeah, he's also pretty squidgy.
Yeah.
I think after this visit, while wearing the mind reading ring set on its invisible setting, Emerald is gonna walk up to Glee, just like find them on the ship somewhere and be like, "My little friend, I have a gift for you."
Through the door, I say, can it wait?
I suppose. When would be a good time to come back?
Like 15 minutes?
Alright, you have fun in there. And I will leave and come back in like 15 minutes.
You hear like drawers being shut.
Hello, are you decent?
Yeah, I'm good. I opened the door. Glee is kind of blushing a little bit. He's like, sorry about that.
It happens to the best of us. I just wanted to give you this staff of frost.
Oh.
I mean, you did that fun little cone of cold thing earlier, so I thought you would enjoy this.
I take it up and I hold it, and now I have 2 stabs.
Yeah.
You can use them as stilts.
Yeah, you can use them as little skis. You can dual wield stabs.
Can I? Sweet!
Yeah.
That's amazing. Okay, cool. Yes, I will dual wield stabs. Fuck yeah.
Yeah,
like
Gandalf style.
Enjoy.
But yeah, now you have access to Cone of Cold, again, Fog Cloud, Ice Storm, and Wall of Ice, which you can cast with charges. And it uses your spell save DC, and you have resistance against cold damage.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you. I kind of can I respond, or do we want to
Yeah, feel free.
Yeah.
Okay. I looked at Emerald to go, well, now I have to get you something.
This is true.
That's
I
so
like emeralds. I like gems. Shiny things. They are nice. They don't need to do things. They just have to look good.
Yeah, pretty. I can look for a pretty shiny thing.
Thank you. This is all I ask.
Oh, absolutely. No. I'm excited.
I am as well. You look like an individual with an eye for interesting items, so I am very eager to see what you come up with.
I'm writing down I owe Emerald a shiny thing. Because I will not take a gift. They do not take gifts.
Awesome. And Emerald, whenever you are by yourself, you would eventually get some updates from Atropos, who will say, Emerald, I received some updates from Dr. Tot. It appears that currently the other crystals have not been procured by Ouroboros. Oh, it's not by Ouroboros, by the snakes. Atropos would know. By the snakes.
Emerald turns into a blood flan.
She just starts like convulsing and becomes a monster. Yeah, no, but she will just say, however, currently the political situation in Relampago has been quite hard to parse, considering the loss of the crystals and other key details of the companies there. Currently, however, it appears the snakes have not made another move. They are potentially gearing up and biding their strength before striking at Clara.
Well, we will kick their asses like we have every other time.
Your confidence is contagious.
I know, that's why I spread it.
Indeed. It will certainly increase our likelihood of success by several percent.
I would love to know the numbers on that, Atropos, if you ever have the time. If you're, like, bored and you want to figure it out, like, specific mathematical percentages of our success is, like, useful intel.
Absolutely. And, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. But yeah, you know, like, you got some letters back from your kiddos. They started school. They're learning how to dance. They said that a really nice lady kind of strolled by the Vermilion Forest again, and is sort of teaching all the other kids how to dance as well, and that she's really pretty.
Oh, that's fun.
And she's also accompanied by this really kind of scary looking woman, but it's really nice to the kiddos as well.
do they describe these individuals?
Not exactly.
Do they say their names?
They don't know. They don't really say names. They kind of just like say like, you know, nice lady and big scary one.
Yeah.
But they would say that ironically, the nice lady that teaches them how to dance is scarier when she's a teacher.
Ooh. Yeah, no, like it's for sure Briar and Celeste.
But yeah. Other than that, I believe that is it from all that you inquired.
I tell the kids not to be afraid of people who look scary, and if ever they start to doubt that, think about their granddad.
All right. And with that, as we wrap up the first half of downtime, and if there's anything else that you would like to do during downtime, we can resolve it next time, as we will end tonight's session there. Congratulations, you all. Actually making progress in downtime. Look at you. Perhaps next time crazy shit will happen. I say like crazy shit didn't happen this session, but you know, it's fine.
No, it's totally good and normal.
Yeah.
I told you guys. Super normal session.
Slice of life.